Hello and welcome to another episode of the Business Growth Accelerator. Brandon, your Chief Business Strategist here, just wrapping up Funnel Hacking Live, and I have with me sitting right next to me, we are actually on the floor in the middle of a hallway outside of the ballroom, Mr. Andre Frank. Andre, appreciate you taking the time to be on the episode. This is what, your first year here at Funnel Hacking Live?
That's right. It's my first year at Funnel Hacking Live, and thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be on the podcast.
Absolutely. So, Andre, tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you're doing here, and who are you, man?
Yeah, my name's Andre. I'm just passionate about health. I'm just kind of like an average person. I was an average person until I decided to follow the calling that was in my heart. I grew up in a military family. I was a good student, played sports. I went to college, did college football, did that whole thing, but I was really lacking discipline, so I ended up suffering. I ended up going through a lot of suffering and poverty based on my own poor decisions. And it wasn't until it's been a progression recently in my life of choosing the upward calling of serving others and being an entrepreneur, because ultimately that's what an entrepreneur is someone who serves others. So this year was the year I really decided to double down, buckle down, get serious, and really dedicate myself to growing my business. But not only that, but to serving others. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm all about. I just want to help people become healthier, and I hope I can do that through Opt-in and about my marketing agency.
Gotcha. So you mentioned there, you said you're starting an agency, right?
I have started an agency, yes.
So other than just wanting to help people and make that impact in the world, why an agency? Why a marketing agency?
So after discovering Russell Brunson and having him ignite the passion for serving others, I realized the only way that I could reach my goals that are so big, I 10x them 2 or 3 times, is to have a mastery of marketing and persuasion, because unfortunately people actually need to be nudged into the better version of themselves. So I wanted to learn the incredibly valuable skills that go into marketing, such as copywriting and psychology and human behavior and all these things, so that I can accomplish my goals and make people healthier, from the mind and the body, and also the purpose side, the spiritual side. So that's the why. I think marketing really is the only way for me to achieve my goals.
Gotcha. So as everybody knows here, I think I mentioned on an episode before, I also have a marketing agency, but I've always stated I have 0 competitors in this space. I love talking with other agency owners and getting their insights and then sharing mine as well to help them along their journey. And being that I've been doing this since about 2020, 2021, I know there are some challenges along the way. Explain the challenges that you've had since you started up.
So the number one challenge, so let me back up a little. I went to school, I studied software engineering, and one thing I realized what really discouraged me was, I could get 6 figures and work, wherever I wanted and do all these things, but one thing I learned is I didn't really like sitting on a computer and doing work like that. So that's kind of where I learned what I was passionate about, and I fell in love with health and being outside. So the biggest challenge for me is really hunkering down and staying consistent and doing the work, sitting down, doing the copywriting. I'm one of those kind of wild, creative people who kind of like want to get up, move around, and do all these things, but really just having the discipline to be consistent when I'm reaching out to do joint ventures, or I'm reaching out to work with collaborators, or I'm constructing creative, or whatever it is, like just like that diligent focus. Like market research too is probably one of the areas that has been most challenging for me in terms of following up. Like, anyone can go to ChatGPT, you type some questions and you get some info, but you actually got to kind of to dig a little deeper. And I've used AI and ChatGPT to actually tremendously to get me to where I am today. Mm-hmm. However, I think not following through in the market research, not digging into people's lives and actually like personalizing my emails, just kind of trying to cut corners and not really do the work, you
Yeah.
know, because there's a lot of work to be a great marketer. You look at all the greats, and they are students of the game,
Yep,
They-
absolutely.
dedicated in the research.
Absolutely. We saw that this past 4 days with Mr. Brunson and his linchpin model, that he has modeled that from the all-time greats from P.T. Barnum and the other great marketers through the ages, and Dan Kennedy. And if you're not in the know, you just don't know. So I definitely recommend you just YouTube Russell Brunson
Plug in.
and plug in. So how long ago did you kind of get this going?
I think it was about May.
Okay, so it's pretty,
May
it's
of-
pretty fresh.
Yeah, so this
Okay.
has been a pretty recent journey, but I'll never forget how significant of a epiphany, an intense emotional experience that I had when I watched the video that was the video that is in an email sequence that before you do the 5-day your first funnel challenge, there's a video that you get prompted to watch. And I saw that video and I was just, there's something in me was awakened.
Yeah.
And it was like a burning, this is it. This is my opportunity to actually live out my purpose.
Dude, that's awesome. So you're fresh. It's like a nice sweet baby that you're loving and you're coddling. Where do you see your agency in the next 5 years? How close to the vision?
years.
I know that's
Wow.
a long time.
That's a long way.
It's gonna
5 years
It's gonna be
out.
here quicker than you think, because I'm already 3 years in.
Wow.
And so 5 years. Where do you,
5
where do you
years,
see it?
I want to have a team of hungry, young, motivated copywriters cranking out creative, just unhindered, just pushing the edge, just people just on fire, in love with their message and just having building a team of people who are just super motivated and dedicated about their health. They figured out their purpose, and if they haven't figured out their purpose, they know that at some point they're gonna figure it out. And yeah, just being actually able to fulfill my goal of impacting the health of 100 million people positively, transforming their perspective of what it even means to be healthy. That's where in 5 years, just having that team of fired up people, an office, having an office where we can, so having an office in a relatively large city, I would say 50 fired up
Yeah.
people, just eager to serve, eager to just just dedicated, building a team of dedicated people. That's where I kind of the vision I see.
Okay.
From 5 years from now.
Gotcha. And so what is going to help you ensure that your agency stays ahead of the trends and innovation, and at the same time differentiate you from everybody else that's swimming in a pretty red ocean, I would say, after the pandemic happened?
Yeah, so there's a book called the Book of the Proverbs. You can find it in the Bible. And one of the things that it says is diligence is a man's best friend. So diligence is really going to be what it takes. And then also an unbridled approach and to create a creative approach to distributing just ads in general. Like people say, the creative aspect of it really is what I'm going to be able to inject and ignite within the people who come into my sphere.
Yep.
Through health and wellness. Because just like business, there's a formula in business, there's a formula for health and wellness to unlock the potential of your mind. So finding people who want to unlock the power that's hidden in their mind and in their heart, that is what is gonna set me ahead, allow me to enter in markets and actually realize that it actually, there's so many people that need to be served. There's so many people who want to start a business, but they don't know anything about marketing. They don't care about marketing. There's so many people who need to be served. I think thousands and thousands of more people could start an agency and then expand that to, a decent sized team, and there still could probably be more work left. So I definitely think, although there are a lot of people who do marketing, that none of them are going to do it quite like me. They're not going to bring the juice that I've been able to accumulate through the suffering of my life, but also through the wisdom accrued from ClickFunnels and people who are dedicated to serving, like Russell Brunson and Todd and all the people. The ClickFunnels community is so vast, and I can't even begin to explain how different my life is after this event.
Absolutely. And we just sat through 4 days of intense learning of the linchpin, the model that has scaled ClickFunnels to over $100 million in revenue, and it was absolutely mind-blowing. You're definitely going to get an episode in the future here kind of explaining it the best way that I possibly can on how the linchpin can transform your business and take it to new light. So what was your primary reason for attending Funnel Hacking Live?
My primary reason was to find a mentor, and also potentially find a business partner or business operator, people I can serve, people who I can help do copy for, and basically all of the above. I found someone who's willing to mentor me. I found I had two people present copywriting opportunity for me to help craft my skill, and then that was my, and then also to kind of talk to people and meet the community. Like I wanted to see, when you're online, you can you don't really feel. You can get the information, you can get the audio information, you can get the visual information, but the heart to heart, the energy, the actual life part of the community, you don't really get until you get around the people and you see the atmosphere and you see how friendly and willing to help people are, and it's just so amazing. I'm just so thankful for all the people I met and all the amazing just value that I've received. It's incredible.
It's a ton of value. So many speakers. We started off on Wednesday about midway through the day and went through nearly 10 o'clock. Day after 10 o'clock again. Friday was to about 8 or 9 o'clock we were rolling to. Today was a little bit shorter day, but it was the party day.
That's right.
So which speaker or session resonated with you the most and why?
That is such a tough question because there are multiple people who resonated with me on a deep level. Today, what was that man's the wrestler today? Kaj. Yeah. Today I really resonated with him. He did a great job of emotionally telling his story, his underdog story. But was it Thane? His last name is Thane. Was it Eric Thane? I believe it was.
Yeah.
He had a really good presentation. He was talking about how to use Russell Brunson's 5-minute perfect webinar in 60 seconds. 1 minute perfect webinar. And that kind of blew me away, but just to see how formulaic his strategy was for generating traffic using shorts, which are booming. A lot of the platforms, thanks to TikTok, are really encouraging and incentivizing the shorts. So Eric Thane's presentation, Kaj's presentation, Russell Brunson, he really did a good job breaking it down. There are so many people. E.T. was incredible. Eric Thomas, the hip hop preacher, he had an incredible, high, motivational speak. And then also Nehemiah Davis, he had some incredible motivational stuff that he was doing. And then also he had some really great, I could just go down the list.
We could go down.
So
everyone.
many. In terms of tactics, you have there's a...
yes, Nehemiah Davis paid challenges.
Oh,
great tactics there. Ben Hardy there. So many people just giving so much value and wetting the palate on everything that the Linchpin has to offer and the strategies that are be coming down the pipeline and joining the 2CCX coaching program. So from what you learned here today, there's still plenty more to learn, but what do you plan on incorporating into your agency now to then offer the world?
So the number one thing that I'm going to go straight to is to do a little funnel audible. If you've read .com Secrets, you know what a funnel audible is, and basically I need to refine that because I'm so close to getting that. And once I get to that, then I'm going to go ahead and so I'm going to incorporate that advice I've gotten. That I've been struggling on this one specific sales funnel that's really going to allow me to start to get some ad spend going, and then go on to the next aspect of my value ladder, which is going to be sorry, I kind of like got off track. So your question was, so could you run that question by me?
Yeah, what do you plan on incorporating from the strategies that you learned here? Yeah.
From the oh man, so Dan Fleshman talked about influencer traffic, and he had a really good tip about how to reach out to influencers, and then says, so you use a little bit amount of words and offer your value up front and be clear up front and lock in right away. Don't do the back and forth. That's a game changer that I'm going to implement in my marketing. Eric Thane's it's the 60-minute webinar. I definitely want to start doing that to generate some organic short form traffic. Oh man, there's just so much stuff to go through, but definitely those things. And also Nehemiah Davis has a Instagram blueprint for generating traffic as well as generating followers. So a lot of the social media stuff I'm really going to start deploying because I had to start from ground zero.
Yeah.
I spent 2 years off the grid recently. Within the last year, I spent 2 years no phone, no internet. So, and then I had to start all over from scratch on social. So I have to start all the way from the ground up. So I'm really going to try to gear down on the social media aspect of the marketing.
Absolutely. And I know this journey isn't an easy one. It is mentally challenging, to say the least. How do you stay motivated and focused, especially when facing those challenges that come up in running, your startup and getting out of the nest and taking flight?
It's tough. So for me, really trying to stay rooted in my health practice, which is centered around jumping rope and calisthenics. And I haven't been so faithful in that, and because of that, I've been drifting. But that's one thing as a metric that I can actually, a KPA, that I can use to measure my focus and diligence. Because if I'm willing to wake up in the morning, go on a walk, jump some rope, work on whatever new jump rope skill I'm trying to learn, do my calisthenics, which I do not like to do. I really don't enjoy it, but I recognize it is super important. And one thing we learned is that thing that's really hard for you to do, that's the thing you need to be doing. So that's the number one thing, but also number two, just being consistent with habits. It's one of my kryptonites, or I guess just something I struggle with, is being consistent with my habits. I'm so great at starting habits and doing it for a while, but to actually be consistent and have a schedule of being smart and wise and prudent with time management is something I kind of lack. But when I execute on the time management and scheduling, that's really kind of what helps me, because like you said, there's some challenges, and we all have to overcome, personally and in business. And the other thing is just to stay focused and not get discouraged, because that is one of the number one just life force drainers and morale crushers. Is when you let yourself get discouraged because you're not getting the results that you expect, want, or really desire, but really taking that and learning, seeing where you fail and then learning and then just getting better, and then going through the process, and getting refined in that way, and just like kind of surrendering to that process.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know how many times I've started and fallen flat on the face, and then, recently, I mean, this past year, myself, my Bruce Wayne job is what I like to call it. I was working for a healthcare broker, and they sold their entire book of business and left me out of a job, and thankfully I managed to kind of find my way and get back into it and actually start doing the thing, even though it's for somebody else, what I'm trying to do and build up on my own for later on. But just that was the biggest challenge, to get over myself, and actually follow some of the stuff within the 30days.com deal, and I managed to pick up 2 small client deals. So if you follow the blueprint from people that have gone before you, you're going to be successful in that sense there. So as you've gone on this journey, who has been the biggest influence on you so far? I mean, I know we definitely got Russell. Russell's, top of the line there, but who else has kind of helped mold you into who you are and influence you down the path that you're going on?
So outside of Russell Brunson, there's 2 pretty significant people. One is Sabri Subi, owner of King Kong Marketing. He really helped pique my interest
He's a monster.
into a different approach to creative that is geared for serving, and the service that he provides is entertainment. He's a big entertainer.
Yeah.
And I think there's some real gems in that, because people love to be entertained, but people hate to be sold. So when you can entertain someone, you really have a rapport that you build with someone. So Sabri Subi is great. I read his book Sell Like Crazy, and there's some absolute gems.
Yep.
The first Facebook ad I did after modeling, when he's the 3 types of ads that are the most successful in Facebook ads, which I'll give you. You know what? You're going to have to read Sabri Subi's book. I'm not going to give you the secret sauce. His book is great. He gives it away for free. You just have to pay for shipping. But he's pretty incredible, the insights he has. But I'm going to call him out right now, though. Okay? Sabri Subi, if you ever listen to this, you got to give credit to where credit is due. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to call you out all the way. Just give credit to where credit is due, okay? There's some... I'm not going to say... I respect you. I hope he listens to it. But I respect him a lot, but I'm not. So he knows what I'm talking about. I just want him to give credit where credit's due.
Oh man, that's a big gauntlet, throwing it down to the King Kong of marketing. We'll see.
Step up to the plate, Subi.
We'll see if he ever listens to this and finds this podcast. Maybe I'll tag him in the post and say, hey, you need to listen to this one for sure.
I'll email his crew every day. I'll email every member on his crew, actually.
Do it. All right.
That might backfire really hard on me, though, so we'll see.
Do it. All right, so you're going to continue to scale your agency and grow this thing up. What kind of values are you going to instill in your team as you continue to do this?
Man, number 1 is just like health. Like, take care of your health, diligence, and then really just like visualization. I think there's the whole realm of psycho-cybernetics is like a whole realm of visualizing, and that's something that I want to encourage, a culture of visualizing, and also just like a playfulness, like the playfulness of creativity. Like, you can get so caught up in like getting the work done and doing the thing that like you actually like you're not in a flow state. You're not really creating. You're not really connected with the creative aspect, your subconscious. So definitely and it'll seem like opposite, like creativity and diligence, but I think the fundamentals of understanding how the brain works and neurology, and just kind of like helping people understand about BDNF, which is brain-derived neurotrophic factor, and neuroplasticity. I know these are some big words. I'm throwing these out here. These neurobiology words, but basically just understanding how the brain works.
Yeah.
And leveraging that by using health. Because I think really that's what gives people a competitive edge when you understand how the brain works and you're actually able to leverage that to accomplish your goals.
Nice. Great advice there. So as we continue, as we wrap this up here, the sun is setting on us behind us, and Funnel Hacking Live is over. You probably heard the staff all filing out and going to their final meeting of the day. If you had one piece of advice for someone that is just one chapter behind you right now on their journey, what would you give them?
So what I did, I would say, when you see an ad, don't skip it right away. See what the offer is for, and if the offer is interesting to you, go ahead and opt in and see what their sales process is like, and if it resonates with you. Because if you're intrigued by someone's creative and it's calling you, you should follow through with that and sign up to their email list and see what their marketing is, and just be a funnel hacker, man.
Yeah, funnel hacking 101.
Yeah, so but me specifically, it would be someone where I was is just to follow that voice in you, that little silent voice that says you're meant for more. Listen to that voice, and it's gonna come from other entrepreneurs pulling you up. Okay, it's not going to come from your friends who just want to drag you down. It's not going to come from your familiar, comfortable circumstances of your hypnotic rhythm, which is a concept from Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. It's a hypnotic rhythm people get in. When people are in hypnotic rhythm, they're actually trying to get you to fall into your hypnotic rhythm. And what that means for everyone is different. But listening to that voice that says you're meant for more is what I would say.
Awesome. Andre, man, I appreciate you coming on the Business Growth Accelerator. We got to wrap this up. I got a 16-hour drive back to Ohio. Woo. So, yeah, it's gonna be a long drive, but the journey has been amazing. And, from both of our hearts to yours, for everybody who's listening, we wish you the best success ever. Be great, and as always, the information that we have talked about is going to be in the description below, so all the links to the books and videos that you should be watching outside of what we're talking about is going to be there, so be sure to check it out. And lastly, if you could do me the biggest favor, share this with a friend. If you can just do that, just share it with a friend if it resonated with you, if you liked the content here. That's all I'm asking.
I'm going to one-up you. Go ahead and share it on your social. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and share it on your social site, your preferred social site.
You can do that. I'll give you permission to do that. Just share it wherever you share it. Okay. Appreciate that. And with that, we're signing off.